Put the house down every single time, and it must have stretched.
Join the club.
There's only really
three of us.
And when John Hutchinson keeps quiet for one moment, and John Leyland stops saying that Connor's the greatest singer, I'm the greatest singer in the world now. It's lovely to see you all. So John, get ready. John Leyland is desperately nervous. He's going to run off to the loo any second to make sure that he's okay for the show, because it's going to be the John Leyland show, really. But here we go. Let's start the show.
His hand will guide my throne and rod, and I'll never walk alone. No, I'll never walk alone. While I walk with
Zoom seems to be working properly this week. That's marvellous. And let's get on with the show. And my name is Jack. And I don't see
John.
me on the screen. And wait, why am I not on the screen? Da! Hello. Why am I not on the screen? I'm not
You
on the
are
screen.
twice.
You're on twice on mine.
Oh, am I? Oh, it must be just on my camera. I'm not. They keep on changing. We had a dress rehearsal yesterday, John and I, and they keep on changing what they call the protocols on Zoom all the time, and they don't tell you. Now, I'm looking at my screen, and it's supposed to be me, but it's not. Isn't that very, very strange? Adrian is on my screen, but and you look lovely, Adrian. And
Thank you very much.
I love your earphones. They're really
Thank you.
classy. They are. I bet they were bought for a 16-year-old, weren't they?
They were bought very cheaply.
Well, listen, let's get the show on the road. My name is Jack, and
My name is John.
John, you have the pleasure of doing the magic mute. Would you like to do the magic mute?
3, 2, 1, mute.
Then we take a moment to listen to the silence. Isn't that silence wonderful, John? John, take
Yes.
over. On you go. Tell us what's on the show.
So what's on the show this week? Well, Dec's going to tell us about his month, what he got up to in November. And that's followed by the first of 3 songs that I chose, which is Dublin Can Be Heaven. Then Dec takes us right back to March 2018 with the old video diaries, and he follows that up with a really good tech tip, which is great for photographers. It's called The Art of Thirds. Then my second choice of song, Gonna Build a Mountain. Then it's over to Lynn Eden Hayes for her regular birthday slot. And then I get to talk about 1966, which is one of my best years, which is why it's in the show. Then comes my third choice of song, No Arms Can Ever Hold You. And then Dec asked me to do a little piece about me, and I've provided some pictures with that. I'll try not to talk too much. And then after that, Dec wraps up the show with his new song, I Can't Write a Song. So there we go. It's packed out.
And I bet you can't wait to hear I Can't Write a Song. Oh, I did send it to you.
Yes.
Did you? What do you think?
It's the best oxymoron I've seen this year.
And you've got to explain to people what an oxymoron is.
Oh, they know. They're all intelligent people.
No, explain what an oxymoron is. Because I actually forget what an oxymoron is. Go on.
It's something which is so obvious it can't be true.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's
So
a
I
good
can't
compliment.
write a song, but you obviously can.
Oh, yes, of course it is. It's the
Right.
opposite. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Do you know the greatest oxymoron ever?
I don't know, but you're actually drifting from the running order now.
I know I am because
which you told me
Ir-
not to do.
I'm
right?
Irish. I'm Irish. I talk. Irish people talk. The great,
I had
and
to
it-
get that in. Sorry.
This is not rude because it's in the public domain. When Ronald Reagan was going for president in the States, he did the greatest oxymoron ever. There were 6 of them. You know the way they do it in the States? There were 6 of them at microphones, and the interviewer was in front of them and said, da, 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 da. And he came to Ronald Reagan and he said, Mr. Reagan, what do you have to say? Do you have any secrets to unfold? Can you tell us anything about your opponents? And he said, yes, I can. I can tell you which one of my opponents had sex with animals, but I won't. And that's the oxymoron. He said he could tell them, but he didn't. So he couldn't get into trouble because he didn't tell them. Isn't that wonderful? John, on you go. What have you been up to, John?
Not a lot.
Really?
I tend to go into hibernation in November. I did a lot of traveling earlier in the year, which I like to do, and it's when I start reading books, really, and writing. So,
and you were telling me yesterday about this wonderful book you're reading.
Absolutely.
Howard Massey.
Yeah, it's all about the great recording studios in London. And I bought it because I'm researching a new chapter for my history website about the studios where you actually created all those songs. And I wanted to know more about the studios and everything. Yeah. And I can't put it down. It's so November to maybe the end of February is when I do all my reading and writing and updating stuff. And then I'll be out with my camera in the spring again. So.
And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, John has sent me his calendar for next year. And you should actually sell it, John. You should make it available because it is such a wonderful, wonderful calendar. And of course, it's steam trains and ships, by the way, ships. Yeah. And that photograph of the ferry, the car ferry, is just unbelievable. It's so clean and everything about it is perfection. But there we are.
And like so many, it was a bit of luck. Yeah. My ship that I was on, the Queen Victoria, was late coming out of Rotterdam. It left 5 hours late. Yeah. And I got up and just looked out of the balcony in the cabin, and I saw this thing coming up the river. Yeah. From about 200 yards away. So I had to run in, grab the camera, and just fire off a couple of shots. And like so many great photographs, it's a bit of luck. You know.
Yeah. So. It's the same as music. Would you agree, John? In music, and a huge amount of great music is mistakes. When you're recording, you make a mistake, and you go, "Gee, that sounds wonderful. How did I do that?"
and you just have to congratulate you for innovation. Right?
Yeah, that innovation. Yeah, all it is a huge mistake. But shall I tell them what I got up to last month, John?
Please do.
And here we are for our annual Mead's Magic. Our little village gets all dolled up. Haven't got much lights this year. We're all cutting down on the lights and the electricity and everything. But all the traders are here, look. All the way down. And we're at our favourite little Black Cat Cafe, which I love. Sandy is there.
They asked the oldest inhabitants as to whether there had been Morris dancing. This dance comes from the village of Upton upon Severn.
Good
By
Lord.
the time the collectors got there, they only knew 2 dances. The other one is called the Upton Hanky Dance. This one could be the Upton Stick Dance.
Oh, he's telling us all about where the dance came from. Isn't that lovely? Fascinating. Come on, get going. 2, 3, 4. Oh, big sticks.
This one.
Oh, it's a stick dance, the Upton stick dance. My goodness. I find it always fascinating how some of the stalls do business and some don't do business. That one there, that's gonna be a winner. Look at that, isn't that amazing? It's gotta be a winner. Look at the queue, look at the queue. Candy floss. And these people who run these sort of stalls and come around to all these little fairs in different villages, I think they're saints because they can't make sixpence when they come here. The expense of the travel and all that. People they just come and they sit here. It's a way of life, I think. Way of life. And of course, it wouldn't be a street fair without the kids. Whoa! Well, I've never seen anything like that. That is quite amazing. Whoa! How about that? How does it work? What a lovely idea. Oh, I want to know how does he or she make money? Or maybe do the spire or for the festivities. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Have you ever seen one of those snow globes? I know they're called snow globes now, because I told my son all about it, because he does festivals and all that, and I thought it'd be wonderful. And of course he knew all about them. Have you ever seen one of those snow globes?
No, I haven't. But it reminded me of the laughing clown that used to be in the glass case at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Absolutely.
Do you remember?
Yes. Go on.
Yeah. Well, it was just a waxwork figure of a clown, and it just used to sit there laughing all the time. And the whole thing was always surrounded by people, and everybody was laughing at this figure in a glass case, laughing. It was a symbol for Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I think. It's still there, apparently. So. Yeah. I haven't been to the Pleasure Beach.
I must say,
I think the one you saw was a lot more sophisticated. So.
Yeah, but my son knows all about them. He uses them actually for the big festivals, and they're lovely. John,
Right, okay.
tell us about your first song.
I love this song. It's quite a new one, really, and it just, to me, it's very old school.
Yeah.
Old school Bachelors.
Yeah.
And it's just simply a song with two fellas singing very warmly and affectionately about that home city.
Yeah.
So we give you Dublin Can Be Heaven.
In Dublin on a sunny summer morning, I've been north and I've been south and I've been east and west. I've been just a rolling stone. Yet there's one place on this earth I've always liked the best. Just a little town I call my own. For Dublin can be heaven with coffee at 11 and a stroll in Stephen's Green. No need to hurry, no need to worry. You're a king, the lady's a queen. Grafton Street's a wonderland, There's magic in the air. There's diamonds in the lady's eyes and gold dust in her hair. And if you don't believe me, come and meet me there in Dublin on a sunny summer morning. I've been here,
I've been there
and saw the rainbow's end,
but no crock of gold I found.
Now I know that come what will,
Whatever fate may send,
here my roots are deep in friendly ground. For Dublin can be heaven with coffee at 11 and a stroll in Stephen's Green. There's no need to hurry, no need to worry. You're a king and the lady's a queen. Grafton Street's a wonderland. There's magic in the air. There's diamonds in the lady's eyes and gold dust in her hair. And if you don't believe me, come and meet me there in Dublin on a sunny summer morning. Grafton Street's a wonderland. There's magic in the air. There's diamonds in the lady's eyes and gold dust in her hair. And if you don't believe me, come and meet me there in Dublin on a sunny summer morning.
What we do now, I just wait for the end, wait for the end, wait for the end. There's the end, and I get rid of that, and I get rid of that, and then I go on to full view. Hold on 2 seconds. Now! Ah! Look at that! Con! Look at that! 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 That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was lovely. But John, a few things about that, really. I mean, the banjo, which you hear the ukulele because you can see it. We know about that in photography. If you see something, you hear it. So everybody sees that. They don't believe I'm playing it, by the way. Nobody believes I'm playing it. I am. And by the way, my granddaughters, Louisa, who you know Louisa, and his I hate to say it because he's not her stepfather, but he says he is. But anyway, Daniel has decided that he's going to play ukulele, and he's driving me mad with it. But anyway, so what did you think, John?
Well, it's exactly as I said. It's full of warmth, and you look as though you enjoyed recording that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I hope it brings over there. My brother was he was the loveliest fella in the world. Fella is a lovely word. Yeah. He's a lovely fella. He was so easy to work with, and he was a perfectionist just like me. But he never made a deal about it. He never made. If he had to do something 30 times, that was it. He didn't moan about it. He just got on with it and did it. And a very, very odd time, it was a high note or something, he'd lose it, you know. And I said, yes, he never used bad language ever. And he's like me. I'm the president of the Bad Language Association. Keep bad language away. But he never used bad. But once or twice when he lost it in perfection, that was it. So, John, go on.
Right. So we're going to take a trip down memory lane now. I hope people don't think I'm talking too much.
No, you're not.
It's someone else's turn next month, so that's great.
Yeah, John, this is the part of the show. People tend to love it because it goes back to pre-COVID when everything was free and easy and lovely, no masks. It was reminding us of what life used to be. So, shall we have a little look at what it was like in 2018?
Yeah, let's go.
We go.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song.
Well, there's nothing tells you that time's going quicker than term being over for another year. Not being, oh, lost again. Do you know, I'm always getting lost. I'm at St Andrew's pre-prep school, well, prep school, where my granddaughter Leyland goes to school, and I can't find my way to the church. Where is the church? I must really get my act together. Is the church this way? No, it's not. It's that way, isn't it? The church. Church. It's through that way, is it? Ah. Isn't that lovely? Lovely music, lovely songs. I was just looking at the little shots of St Andrew's, the school, and the school choir and all that. And I had a thought, an interesting thought here. Why are schools like that so good? And how do they turn out fantastic leaders in commerce, in business, in government, in music? And they've got a huge track record of success. And a couple of points came to mind. I thought to myself, number one, the discipline. And you don't see discipline at all. It's just, I don't know, the whole atmosphere leads to discipline. The way they walk in line, the way they all say yes sir, no sir, the way they almost curtsy to the teachers, and everybody is Miss Brian and Miss this and Miss that and Mr. It's very proper. The second point is the way they're dressed as regards to discipline. They're all immaculate in exactly the same uniform. And I do notice that kids from other schools, they've got the shirts hanging out, they've got trainers on, all that stuff. You know, the tie not knotted properly. There's no sense of dressing properly. The other point is, as regards discipline and correctness, is that if the parents are paying, I do know in St Andrews it's £5,700 per term, that's 3 terms, so that's in excess of £17,000 a year. A lot of people don't even earn that, and they're paying that for one kid. Some of them have got 2 and 3 kids. I mean, I had 3 at schools like that. If they're paying that much and the kid is indisciplined and is sent home reprimanded and sent home suspended for 3 or 4 days, parents are not going to be very happy with the kids sitting at home doing nothing and they're still paying the fees. The other major point was, and you'll see from the videos, all the singing and the poetry, and kids encouraged to do poetry, and it's the lilt, the sing-song and the voice makes for a very, very powerful voice. And they're taught that right from the get-go. Well, these kids were, 5, 6, 7. My Layla is 10 years of age, and she's got that lovely, strong sing-song voice, which is quite amazing. But they're taught that at school, and they all imitate each other. That's the other point. Imitate each other. So, just points to ponder. I thought I'd just put my little tuppence worth in here and just tell you what I think of schools like this. Now, this is mystery time. Try to work out what that is. If this was a competition now to say what that is. 3 microphones. This is actually where I record acoustic guitar. Music stand on the floor where all good musicians put their music to play, and I sit here in that chair there, and this is where I record acoustic guitar. The mirror, you wonder what the mirror is. The mirror is to reflect the bright sounds back into the microphones. There are 3 microphones, and that's called a Decca Tree, TREE, and you have a main microphone in front to pick up the main signal. That's the very expensive microphone. They're quite expensive as well, those two. And then 2 microphones to create a stereo left-right image. It's called a Decca Tree. I'm recording 2 guitars today. That's a most beautiful Spanish guitar. It's for a solo on a track that Victoria is doing, and that's a very lovely Gibson guitar, which was reworked by a famous guy called John Birch. I dread to think what it's worth, but it plays beautifully. And that's what I get up to in my studio here when I'm recording acoustic guitar. So now you've had a lesson, if you're a guitar player, on how to record acoustic guitar. Oh, by the way, one point, probably wonder what that is on the floor, on the carpet. I have a special big large sheet of hardboard, and that is again to reflect the top sounds, the top frequency sounds from the guitar. So you've got the mirror creating that image from behind the microphones, and then you've got the hard sound, and that's particularly good for Spanish guitar, classical guitar. So that's how I do it. So you've had a good lesson now. Use a Decca Tree with microphones to record, and use a mirror behind, and use hardboard on the floor. So now you know how Dec does it. And look forward to the track coming out. See you soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Because that's the famous thing, because Howard Massey was with Decca Studios, and they invented that Decca Tree.
Yeah.
And if you look at symphony orchestras, you'll see that high up, you'll see a Decca Tree with 3 microphones, and it's 1, 2. The one there exaggerates the middle of the stereo. That's the idea.
There's a whole chapter about it, actually, in the book.
Really? Go on, go on.
Well, I haven't read the chapter yet, but that'll be round about the middle of the week, I would think, by the time I get to that. But like everybody, you have a flick through a book.
Yeah.
Look at the pictures first, and then I saw there was a whole section about the Decca Tree. I'd heard about it before, but well, if anybody wants to buy the book, if anybody's interested in the technical side, this is it. It's called The Great British Recording Studios. It's by Howard Massey. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, don't tell Dec, but I've actually bought him a copy and sent it to him for Christmas. Don't tell him.
I didn't hear that, John. I didn't hear that at all. So listen, the next thing we're doing, John, which you're going to tell us about, is the tech tips. Do you like them? Do you think they're good? The reaction I get is that people love them all over the world.
I think they're great. I don't think everybody can use all of them because they're not.
No.
They're not doing. But this one, this week, because I've seen it, as someone who's very interested in photography, this I think is universal. So everybody who points a phone camera or their own camera, a proper camera as I call it, anything, will benefit from this knowledge.
Okay, here we go.
Here we are, another Tech Klasky. Little short one this week. A very interesting one. How many times have you seen people on Zoom when they're down here on the camera? Yeah? Well, they're up here on the camera. They're everywhere but where they should be. Where should they be? Very interesting question. Well, I naturally settle. I've been at this so long, I suppose. I just naturally settle into the correct position. And what is the correct position? Look it up. I'll put it down below. It's called the rule of thirds, and that will tell you exactly where to be on the camera. If you divide the camera lens in a noughts and crosses grid, 2 lines down there, 2 lines across like that, and that is exactly what I'm looking at in that camera, and my eyes are exactly on the top line. This camera here, exactly on the top line. This camera here, exactly on the top line. Now look it up on the net. All photographers know this stuff. All video makers know this stuff. All filmmakers know this stuff, and now you know it. So the most important, the power lines, are the lines there. And if you want to take here's a quick tip, nothing to do with Zoom. If you want to take a portrait, make sure that you're on that cross there, there. Now, people will say, oh no, you've got to centralize the image. No, the good guys, that's where the power is. That's where the power is. You can even go down to the bottom quarter. And that's where the power is. Provided you got something interesting in the rest of the picture, obviously. But there we are, the power of thirds. Look it up, and you heard it from Dec. See you very soon. Bye.
But you know all that stuff, John, because you're a very keen photographer.
Did you notice all the people shuffling around their positions while you were?
Yeah, yeah. I see that, and then automatically get down to the original position. It's a vision.
Yeah.
But John, tell us a little bit about your photographic exploits.
Well, it's probably quite boring and very nerdy to a lot of people, but I specialize in transportation subjects, especially heritage transport. So in the summertime, well, spring to autumn, I like to get out and about. I've been to the hills, the Yorkshire Dales, and up on Shap in Cumbria, taking pictures of steam trains in landscapes, which is my favourite thing to do. I love maritime photography. I spend a lot of time in Southampton in the summer. If I'm not actually sailing, I often go down there for a weekend. The only trouble is all the big ships come in early morning, so I've got to get out of my hotel bed at 4:30 to go down to the waterside to take my pictures. But I've had some pretty spectacular ones this year. Some in semi-darkness. So
I love that sunset one you did.
Yeah, that was another lucky shot. I just finished getting dressed to go down to the restaurant for dinner. So I'm there in my tux and everything in the cabin, and I just happened to look out of the window, and the sun was setting, and we were just passing an oil rig. So that was another rush job. That was a lucky one too. So.
Yeah, terrific. And the next song, John?
The next song is, as Frank Carson used to say, it's a cracker. 1969 was a bit of a bonus year for Bachelors fans because we got a World of album that had 12 new songs on it. There weren't anything from the back catalogue. And one of them went into the act towards the end of the year in 69. And I saw you performing it at the Grand Theatre in Leeds when you were doing a winter season there. And the audience reaction from this was absolutely phenomenal. It's actually in my top 5 of all-time Bachelors tracks, and it's Gonna Build a Mountain.
From a little hill, gonna build a mountain, at least I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only knowing gonna try. Gonna build a daydream from a little hope. Gonna push that daydream up the mountain slope. Gonna build a daydream, gonna see it through. Gonna build a mountain and a daydream, gonna make it both come true. Gonna build a heaven from a little hell. Gonna build a heaven, and I know darn well, if I build my mountain with a lot of care and take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. When I build that heaven, as I will someday, and the Lord sends Gabriel to take me away, wanna find young son to take my place. I need a son in my heaven on earth with the Lord's good grace. Gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build a mountain, least I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna try. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna build a mountain.
Photographic backgrounds by John Leyland. How about that? Now, did you enjoy that? Let us go on to... Wait now. We're nearly there. We're there. Oh, look at that. Con. Look. That's terrific. Fantastic. Stephen isn't impressed. No, Stephen roast beef spear park. Oh, he is now. That's lovely. That's terrific. Oh dear. Let's go back to the speaker view. Yeah, and that was actually Con had the greatest voice in the world and so easy to work with. But that's all he did. And he used to openly admit that he did nothing. But on that he played the tambourine. John, did you know that?
No.
They did it just like Ringo. Ringo's only contribution to the Beatles was the tambourine. I mean, a little known fact, but there we are. But it's quite amazing, John. You might like to comment on it. The fact that was Con recorded all his stuff up in Ireland and filmed it, and then sent it down to me.
Yeah.
And that was all stitched together down here. And
I think it was the first one you did like that, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
And I know Con had to dive into his music archives up in New Hall to dig out the music for it. I mean, he showed that to me once. I was amazed. All those brown envelopes with all the music parts from everything you'd ever recorded and all the live shows you'd done. I mean, good gracious.
Yeah, what Con used to do was, you're right, I did the archive, and then he had the room, so he stored it, and it was masses of it, and it's still there, all in manila envelopes, and all recorded, and that was R for recording, so the recording ones were all R, and then A were the ones specifically done for the act. And they were usually done by won't come to me. But a friend of Ross Taylor, our producer, he used to do the orchestrations for the Jack Parnell Orchestra or whatever orchestra we were using in the shows. But it was a tough gig. And then I used to send them down to me, and then I would recreate them. I'm very lucky. I've got all the samples from the Vienna Symphony Orchestra, which you'll see a lot of, and they're actually playing all the string parts, which is amazing. And then I did all the keyboards, all the guitars. Con played the tambourine. That's just it. But listen, let's get on, John. Let's get on.
It's birthday time now.
Birthday time, yeah.
So we go over to Lynn Eden Hayes, who's going to tell us all about it.
We've got 2 birthdays this month. One for you, Dec, with your cake to present to the screen, and one for me afterwards with my cake to present to the screen. So the one for you to present the cake to is Catherine Coates. Her birthday will be on the 14th of December.
Here it is. Can you see that? I hope you can see that, because Zoom is doing this thing where I can still see Lynn and I know I'm on the screen. But there we are. That's, if Zoom want to do that, they want to do it. So it's Catherine Coates, and she is 156 today. Catherine, and this cake we dug up from Stonehenge, and this we dug up at Stonehenge, and you can see the slight bits of dirt still on it. But this is for you, Catherine, and you know the deal. What you have to do now is you have to go 1, 2, 3 and blow. Okay, and then you'll see the magic, and all the wind will come down the wire, all the way up to the satellite, all the way down from the satellite, down to Eastbourne, and the magic blow will happen. And here we go. So you say 1, 2, 3 and blow.
1, 2, 3.
Hey! How about that? That was magic. That was magic. Well done, Sandy. They're not supposed to know you're there.
I'm not.
Yeah, okay. You're not here. Okay. And thank you very much again for doing that. There we are. Be careful on the way out. There's wires everywhere. You've no idea. It all looks prim and proper here, but it's just wires everywhere. So, John, back. Thank you, Catherine, for that. That's lovely. And Lynn, yes?
Yeah, my helper's lighting the candles at the moment for a cake for you, for your birthday, Dec. Happy birthday for the 23rd of December. Tesco's white chocolate and strawberry cake.
Is it?
Tesco's finest, yes.
From Venezuela?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready now?
Right. Happy birthday, Dec. Here are the candles for you.
1, 2, 3. I hope that worked. I hope that worked. It did it? That's marvellous. That's lovely. Oh, thank you very much, Lynn. And just so that everybody knows, I have never lied about my age, ever. My brother did all the time. I am 81, and Con would have been 87. And for anyone to sing like that at 86, I've never seen it in my life. Never once. But there we are. John, back to yourself. And we've got a special thing now, John, haven't we? We've got a special thing.
But before you do that, before you get to that, I'm going to go off the cue sheet now.
Oh, go on.
There is another birthday.
Go on.
It's a very special birthday.
Yeah.
A very special lady.
Yeah.
Who's 60 this month.
Good Lord. Go on.
Her name is Charmaine.
Ah, ha ha. Ha ha.
So happy birthday to Charmaine.
Happy birthday to Charmaine. Happy birthday to Charmaine. Happy birthday, dear Charmaine. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for giving me, and Con, and John, of course, and Peter Phipps, and everybody concerned with the Bachelors. Thank you for giving us such a sensational, enjoyable, wonderful career. But John, let's go to this.
This was your idea. Some pictures through the years, and for me to talk a bit about me.
This is what you said was your best year, John.
Oh, the best year, of course. Right, okay. I'll make it as brief as possible then. 1966. 14 years old. The Bachelors at the ABC Theatre in Blackpool for 16 weeks with Cilla Black and Freddie Davis and Ray Fell and Mike Berry and the Pamela Davis Dancers, which of course Sandy was one. It's where I first really met other Bachelors fans. People like Elsa Canning, Sue Berman, of course. There was Kathy Thistlewaite and Pauline Huger from Liverpool. And we became such great fans. Every other Saturday, most of us were there, around the stage door, around about 5 o'clock. And we used to write to each other in between going to the shows and talk about the music. And well, they talked about some things that I couldn't possibly repeat here, something to do with them and you, but I wouldn't repeat it. And and then the show finished, and it was a sense of loss for all of us. But a couple of weeks later, I lost my dad in very tragic circumstances, and that was pretty tough. But a few weeks after that, Walk with Faith in Your Heart came out, and that kind of, not a deeply religious person, but it kind of gave me a sense that everything was going to be okay. And then you went to the Opera House in Blackpool for the Christmas season, and I turned up there for a matinee show on the first Saturday, and all my pals from the summer were there.
Sorry to put in, was that the Opera House in Manchester?
In Manchester, yeah. And all my pals from the summer were there. And it was like they gave me such a welcome, because they knew what happened to me in the interim period, because we used to write. And the whole thing became like a big family. And you had this whole family thing going on behind the music. And that had never gone away. You have this whole group of people who regard themselves as family, united by your music. And that's special.
Yeah.
And that all really started for me in 1966.
Yeah, lovely, John. And of course, the great song is the one you're going to play next.
My third song is No Arms Can Ever Hold You.
Do you like that?
Oh, I love
I
that.
love it.
You love it as well, do you?
It's my song.
Who's shouting from the kitchen?
It's mine.
Will you tell your daughter to be quiet in the kitchen
I will.
while we're singing a song?
I thought she was
Busy cleaning and cooking your dinner.
Lovely. Wasn't that lovely? Let's see. There it is. Oh, look at that, John. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And I think Connor's applauding as well because he liked my guitar playing on that. Oh, look at Linda, matron. You're well, Linda. I'm just looking at the faces on there, and Linda Wood, and Chris. There's Chris, and John Hutchinson, and Margaret, lovely, and Stephen, of course, and Margie all the way from the States, and Adrian Ross. That's lovely, and Joy, and Graham. That's lovely. So let's go back to the ordinary view. And there's something I was going to say. Oh yeah. I've got an idea, and I hope you'll like it, because I think John, when he chose all the songs, he forgot that it was Christmas time. Did you, John?
No.
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 But I have an idea. How would you like a Christmas special? Yeah, next Sunday, possibly. Because we've got such a lot of Christmas driving home from Christmas and all that, which I love. I think it's better than the Chris Rea one. And most people do, actually, which is strange. And we've got all those lovely things like Mary's Boy Child. And I'll put something special together as well. Would you fancy it? Would everybody be up for that? Let me put your hands up if you are. I'll put it on the gallery view. Are you up for that? Yes? Carol's, yeah, everybody's up for it. That's gone. Next Sunday, 2:30. We'll do it. Okay. Now, John. So this is really John Leyland. Talk us through.
This is not my idea, I hasten to add.
This is lovely, John. We all want to know. I love listening to people's stories. Now, listen, look at that. I mean, come on. Look at that. That young lad. You can actually swap, if you're any good at this, ladies and gentlemen, up the top right hand corner where it says view, you can swap between my view and John's view, the speaker view, and you can see all this the way you want it to. But tell us, John, 1962.
Yeah, it was taken in the spring of 1962, probably around about April time. It was my I was 10, I was at primary school, and probably around about that time you were touring with Nina and Frederick.
Yeah.
And that's the 10-year-old boy who bought Charmaine.
Good Lord.
So.
Well, there were another two.
And look at us now.
You're now at the 249,999.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let me go on to this. Look.
Yeah, this is the fan gang that I was telling you about. This was the year later in 1967, and that's outside the Adelphi Street entrance to the Opera House.
Really?
Yeah, Con had just been in for the band call. You always did a band call at the Opera House on the Sunday afternoon at 2:00. And that was actually, the picture was taken by Kathy Thistlethwaite, who you may remember.
Yeah. We would have flown up from somewhere. Where
no, you drove over, I think, from Scarborough.
Oh, Scarborough, yeah. Okay,
yeah, because you arrived in the big grey Humber with Billy Livingston.
Yeah.
And then you disappeared. You went somewhere, and Billy Livingston said to me, "Give me a hand to carry this stuff in." And he unzipped the double bass in its canvas case from the roof. Yeah. From the roof bars, and I got to carry the double bass into the theatre. So he gave me sixpence for that.
Oh God, you were overpaid. Yeah, overpaid.
He gave me sixpence for that. So.
That's lovely. The thing was that we when we used to fly over to the Opera House, if we were down in Yarmouth, say, we'd fly up, and the Harold Fielding people, I forget now the name of the girl that used to handle the show. She'll come to me in a minute. I'll put it on the replay. Yeah, but they used to go berserk because, of course, we had Stuart Atkins with us. And then Stuart would, what we call, take the band call. He'd just run through the parts with the band. And we'd go up and play golf. at St Andrews, at St Anne's in Leyland, and I mean Harold Failing and them thought that was sacrilege, but our attitude was we know the songs. There's no point in us just standing there. We could be out enjoying ourselves. And we were. And then we used to arrive just in time, about 10 to 6 for the first show. And, they used to go berserk, absolutely berserk at us. But tell us about this one, John. Look at this.
That's when I flew the nest from Lancashire and I moved down to Southampton because I wanted to work with the big ships. I was in British Transport Police.
Yeah.
And although we were quite busy where I was working up in the northwest near Lancaster, I thought it would be a great career move to Southampton.
Yeah.
And it was very happy time actually. Although most of the work down there was very routine, there was a lot of gate work.
Yeah.
But ocean liners were then still plying the world. You could still buy a ticket to go to South Africa or Australia. And the QE2, its only job was to go backwards and forwards to New York.
Yeah.
The one job they used to give us it was known as inside lounge. You had to be on duty in the lounge as all the passengers came off the ship. And when we were on duty in the QE2 lounge for the QE2 coming in from New York, we were the first British bobbies that all the Americans had ever seen.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that was like. Hundreds of photographs, telephone numbers, invites to dinner, because there I was dressed in my police uniform and they always wanted to see an English bobby. So that was a happy time. Although you didn't appear much down south in those days. So I had to wait till about 75 and you did and 76 and you went to Bournemouth. But after that, I moved to London.
Yeah.
My career took me to London. And then after that, I ended up in Liverpool, which is when we did a joint promotion. You helped us out with a joint promotion, and that'll be the next picture.
That's it.
We're doing a national promotion over the Christmas period to keep kids off railway lines all over the UK. So many children get killed by trains in the UK. It's tragic. It still happens now.
Yeah.
And because you were playing the part of 3 policemen, Chinese policemen in Aladdin, I got an idea that perhaps you might like to help us front the campaign for the Midlands.
Yeah.
And you all agreed instantly, no charge, gave us your time, gave us your support.
Yeah.
And I think in the interval, in one matinee show, we had every kid in the audience up on the stage, me with my team there, and you 3, handing out colouring books of trains and badges to all the kids. And you gave your time so freely to support me in what I was trying to do. And that actually meant a lot to me at the time.
Good.
And I got to work on stage with you as well.
I hate that word work. Con used to use it all the time. Perform on you. We don't work. I've never worked a day in my life. But there we are. And this is
how many fans get to do this?
Yeah. Go on. 1984. Tell us about
Livingston Studios in Wood Green in London. Con happened to mention to me, I can't remember where we were, British. Well, next Monday we're back in Livingston doing some recording. I said, do you know, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to. Oh, well, come then. He said, here's the address, blah, blah, blah. So off I go down there and spent a lovely day with you guys. And you were just finishing up the Now and Then album there. And what you're actually doing when that picture was taken was putting some far back vocals down to I Write the Songs.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a great number.
Yeah.
So that was one of a series of pictures I took that day. So that was very special to be able to see that.
Yeah. And then another pantomime.
The pages of history turn.
Yeah.
And there's my daughter Nicola, age 6, with you at a pantomime in Mansfield. Good. And of course, by that time, Peter had come into the act.
Yeah.
So what was the Bachelors fan family, also sort of the influence of the music also spread itself out to my own family.
Yeah.
Although my ex-wife probably wouldn't agree. But my daughter is still a Bachelors fan.
Really?
Yeah, she still plays the CDs.
Oh,
says.
good.
I don't, and I've got no reason to not to believe it.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. So, John, we're coming to the end of the show. What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I think I talk too much.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I think you gave me too much time, but I'm glad if it helps you smooth things out a little bit, which it seemed to do. We're running about 8 minutes late, according to the cue sheet. But
there it is.
but now we've got something really, really special, and
yeah,
I believe it's special because I've seen it.
Yeah.
It can't be easy for you to sing solo after 60 years of being there with Con.
67 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This song represents you in the middle of a journey, and you've come so far in such a short time. It's an oxymoron, as I said at the beginning, but the lead vocal's great. The harmonies are signature Bachelors, which is great because that identifies it. The guitar work and the backing, it's all great. And I think you can be very proud of this. And I'm sure that Con is giving you a big pat on the back for this one. And now everybody gets to see it. And it's a song called I Can't Write a Song.
It's killing me that you're not here with me in the silence of the night. All my words have no rhyme or reason, sitting here in the cool of night. Why'd you go? Why did you go? You should have stayed. You could have stayed. Could have stayed. Could have stayed. I can't write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. I can't write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. Without you. I just want you to come back to me, just like we used to be. It's so lonesome you're not here with me. Just come back to me. You broke my heart, it fell in two. That wasn't smart, you wanted to. I can't write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. I can't write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. Loving you was the easiest thing that anyone could ever do. I found you, I lost you. Tell me, darling, what did I do? I can't write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. write a song. I can't write a song. I can't write a song without you. Without you. Without you. I can't write a song.
Now you know how it's all done. I enjoyed doing that. And I've got a little story to tell you in a second. We are up onto the full screen, full screen, full screen, full screen. There we are. Look at that. They love it. Con, I don't need you. Sorry. Sorry. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and John, it took me 4 weeks actually to do that. 4 weeks, which is the longest. Normally it's 3 weeks to do it, because it's putting all the music together, as you know, and it's writing the music, orchestrating, and you know all the stuff, John. Playing the guitars, playing all the music, and then writing the string arrangements, which I love doing, and then the Vienna Symphony Orchestra and all that. I love all that, but every day I was in the studio, I kept coming into Sandy in the kitchen saying, it's weird. I said, it's not upsetting me at all, but there's a shadow over my left shoulder all the time. And on the last day, the shadow was over my right shoulder. And I said, it doesn't bother me at all. And it has to be Con. It has to be. But to create that sort of a song, I had to have his help. And that's, I suppose, a nice way of putting it. But there we are, John. What would your final thoughts be?
I enjoyed it, but I still think I talk too much.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
he,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen? Does he, ladies and gentlemen? No. Everybody is saying no. You are lovely, John.
And I wish luck to the next person you choose to do one of these with you.
Its next one is Lynn. So Lynn is looking petrified already. Lynn is the next one up, and the one after that is Carol Furs. And if anybody else fancies just choosing 3 or 4 videos, depending on whether I have the time to do an extra video. I made the time this time because I wanted to do, I had that idea in my mind for that song, and I wanted to do it. So shall we say a final my final thought, John, would be, please everybody have a mind for those poor people in Ukraine, what they're going through. We're all saying, I heard Lynn say earlier on, oh, it's so cold. Can you imagine what it's like waking up in a war-torn country with no heating, and it's minus whatever it is over there at the moment. But that is really awful. And have a mind for that. Please, if you can, I don't know whether you can help in any way. I have a flag on my car. If you can help in any way, I notice people putting up flags again on trees and everything. Let's not forget them. And the old Christian thing, say a prayer for them. And John, and from Con up there, and from me down here, I want to say thank you for allowing me the pleasure of being with you. I do mean that, the pleasure of being with you. And you mean a lot to me. Everybody does. Thank you so much. And here is the end.